Hello and welcome to episode 17 of the Board States podcast. That means that our show is legally allowed to go see grown-up movies, and I am your host, Rated R for Rolling Reggie, joined by the press junket junkie Jazz. And today, our main topic is the Origins Game Fair, a convention that I'm going to for the first time in Columbus, Ohio. If you will be there, please come say hello. I will have Rolling Reggie stickers if you want to come say hi. We haven't made Board State stickers yet, but we will. We got to get Kennan's approval on that for the amazing logo here. But I'm really, really excited to go to this convention. 4 nights. I've never been to a con this long. I'll definitely report back here on the pod. But today, Jazz and I are going to be both, even though he won't be there, we're going to be covering the games we're most excited about. We call this a hype list. Just there's a preview section on Board Game Geek, and we'll talk about that. We've got a state of mind, and today we're doing start player madness here, okay? I'm going to be doing a little bit of a who's the starting player in this game, and only 4 of them, and I've got hints. It could be something we do continually. I'm very excited. We'll talk about victory points in a second. And then we're both going to be covering, as we always do at the end, our En La Mesa game, which is our first impressions segment, and Jazz will be covering Excalibur, and I will be covering the game Got 5. Jazz, how about them Knicks?
Let's go, baby. What did I say? I said in 6, possibly 5. I said I wouldn't be surprised at 5, and we're in that spot. Let's do it, baby. Let's go.
We are.
Listen.
This is the morning after. You want to explain what just happened historically?
So we're recording the day after Game 4. Okay, in the Garden, where the Knicks were getting bashed out of the building. Honestly,
shellacked.
Let's be honest. The Spurs were just shooting lights out, up at 29 at one point, but Knicks came back as they have been doing all playoffs from double digits down to take that last second win. Reg, real quick, I know a lot of people may not be sports ball fans, but listen, and this is me being a sports person, not being a Knicks fan. If you're watching the NBA finals and you're looking at it and you're saying, wow, these calls are just somewhat egregious at points, I honestly think it's true. And this is not just me being a Knicks fan. The refs. It's very one-sided. And as to me, what upset me most about the fact of the game, and this is why I stopped watching a lot of the NBA earlier on too, is that teams that don't need the assistance, but because they've got like this prime, superstar that's like the face of the league or whatever, or the future face of the league, it seems like they get a lot of things that go their way for it when they don't need it. Like, let the teams play. I think that's what really brings that old school flavor of the game back into it. Like, let people duke it out on the court. If things are going to get physical, let it be physical. Let it be even kill. You're not always going to get the call, but that's what
my day.
Yeah. Well, that's just what bothers me. That's just what bothers me sometimes about sports. Yes. Is that sometimes you watch it and you're like, it turns you off from wanting to watch it because like this stuff sometimes it just doesn't seem fair and things are going one way. Again, this is not me. The Knicks overcame adversity. I'm excited. Let's get it, baby.
Yeah. I'll tie it to board games really quick. My group chat, anytime I go play basketball at my like local 24-hour fitness, I'll text and be like, sorry, I'm going to be at MIA for a little bit playing orange dexterity ball. So that's what we refer to. It's just all sports are dexterity games. Prove me wrong. That's all I'm going to say. All right, let's get to it. I'm really excited to talk about these games. Our state of mind today is start player madness is what I'm calling it. And I'll talk about it in a second. Our victory points. Jazz came up with this today. I can't believe I've never thought of this yet. We're going back to Puerto Rico, but especially in New York and Florida, where this is even more popular here in the U.S. in Puerto Rican culture, is Piragua. Piragua from the musical Piragua. In the Heights, if you know, but they are like, it's like a shaved ice with a lot of different like fruity syrups, mango or guava or passion fruit, and they're all delicious. Very, very popular, like I said, in New York or Florida. So if you get it correct, you got to tell us what flavor you would do. What would be your number one fruit flavor for something like that?
I got you.
I've got 4 questions for you. They're going to be really fast.
Okay.
I'm going to read in the rule book so that your one hint is that these are legitimate rule books I have in front of me, which means that they're in my collection. That might help you or might not.
Okay.
It's not like Jazz has like been to my house to see the roost, as I call it. But I'm just going to read the sentence of who gets to be starting player, and you get one guess. And if you get it wrong, I'll give you a hint. And if you get it on the second one, you'll still get it. So you get 2 guesses each time after a hint, okay?
Sounds good.
Yeah, I guess I'll give you 2 points. 2 points if you get it right with no hint, okay?
Okay.
I tried to go from hardest to easiest to hardest. So
Let's do it.
The start player here, are we ready? Under player setup, it says, the first player is the person who most recently flew on an airplane.
I'm going to go with Sky Team.
Sky Team is a very good guess.
Oh.
It is not correct. So I'm going to tell you the designer of this one is the team called Prospero Hall.
Yeah, and I knew as soon as you said it wasn't Sky Team, I knew the game. Yep. And it's funny because the title of the game's not coming to me. You know, it is what it is.
Oh yeah, it's the.
I know which.
Do you know what it looks like?
It's the old. Why can't I think about it? It's based on that airline team.
Yes.
And I know it. I know the game.
I'll give you the points. This is how 3 of a Kind does it.
Yeah.
It says if you can explain it, you know it. It is called Pan Am.
Yeah, Pan Am. Exactly.
I'm giving you the point. Yes. In 3 of a Kind, it says if you wrote Shakespeare and your team or one of the other players wrote the guy who did Romeo and Juliet, it counts. And so I'm fine with that. You knew the essence. You couldn't remember the name. Pan Am. Good job. So you get 1 Piragua.
Okay, let's go with a piña, the pineapple, right off the bat.
Dang it! I was gonna say if you didn't say it, my favorite flavor of anything like that is piña, which is pineapple. Yeah. Oh, I love that. See, you're speaking my language, my friend. Speaking my language. Okay. Here's another one. I'm really excited about this. The second game, and I'll give you the mechanism if you do not get it on the first chart. Let me make sure I read this correctly. The player who lives in the largest house begins and lays down any number of his... I won't finish that sentence because that'll help you. So the player who lives in the largest house.
Ooh, I have no idea.
You want to throw anything that's like house related or out there?
Player who lives in the largest house.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't even think of it, Reg.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. The hint is the main mechanism is auction and bidding.
High Society.
Oh, High Society is a great guess, and I actually want to tell you what that one is, but I want to save it for a future episode. It is For Sale.
Okay, I see that. Gotcha.
Yeah, I think High Society literally is the person who has the most cash on hand, like whoever has the most. And so that I ruined that already, but I couldn't help it. All right, not bad. Okay, you got one. We got 2 more here. I think these are a little harder. Sorry, I just was like they actually had one.
I was going
to all my Stonemaier games, so I'll just tell you that none of them have it. It's always like select at random.
Yes,
I was really surprised. Like Viticulture and Finspan, I thought they'd have something thematic. Okay, the final piece of the setup in this game says the player who lives furthest north plays first. That's a tough one, but furthest north. This one we have talked about on the show. I'll give you that too.
I'm thinking a Viking style themed game. Reg, is this the one we had recently played on BGA? That would be my guess. If I can quickly open up my Board Game Arena and see the title of that game.
He's opening up Board Game Arena right now.
Oh, yeah, let's see.
His table, it's finished table.
It's a finished table because you did destroy me.
I got like 130 points playing with Jazz and Tim from Board Game Hot Ticks who've never played the game, and I've never filled my board before.
I'm going to say this is Loot.
Loot. That is correct. In Germany, you would call it Neuland or Newland. Yes, and the hint I was going to give you is that it's Viking themed. So good job. Loot, you have another Piragua. What flavor are you taking for that?
Let's go with the mango.
Ooh, la mango. I love that so much. That's great. All right. And finally, this one, I just played this last night with the Queen for the first time, and that's what kind of made me think of this entire thing. First player, where does it say it here? Hold on. Oh my gosh, I don't want to mix it up. Okay, whoever most recently sipped a drink is the first player. Sipped a drink.
Most sipped a drink is the. You haven't played Wine Cellar, so I wouldn't say that. It's a beverage.
Just played for the first time last night.
Okay, then let's say go Wine Cellar then.
It's not Wine Cellar actually, but I did want to repeat that. The hint is, I'll give you a good hint here. It is All Play publisher Tiny Box. All Play Tiny Box.
Oh man, you're gonna. Let's look at my old All Play.
Looking at like he's looking at his shelf right there.
Soda Jerk.
It is Soda Jerk. Good job by Chris Yee. Art by Sai Beppu, which I really, really love on this little game. It's so cute. And it is a game about a bunch of sugary drinks. It just happens to be sodas. Oh my gosh. And while we're doing Piragua today. So your flavor choices here are orange, kiwi, blueberry, strawberry, or banana. So what would you pick of those five from Soda Jerk?
I guess I'll go with orange. But if we're gonna go, I get to choose. We're gonna go
Another
with
one,
passion fruit or palcha, as us Puerto Ricans say it. Or if you're Dominican, it's chinola, or other places have different names for it. But yeah, passion fruit is that other flavor.
I love that. I love that about language and just all the different dialects. It's like, we talk to like the UK folks and they say trolley instead of shopping cart.
Yeah.
I love that little slang. That's it. So you earned yourself 2 full piraguas here, a piña and a passion fruit. I love it so much. That's our state of mind. We want to leave some time to get right into the game, so thank you for playing along. We leave time to get into the main topic, and that is that I'll be going to Origins Game Fair, and we're going to talk about a hype list here. I've got my list up. We probably have time for each of us to cover about 5 games or so. If we have more time, we'll just keep going, and we also will have some honorable mentions that we might have to mention at the very end. Before, I just want to say I'm so excited. Like I had said before, I got to shout out the board game box office folks. These gents are going to, in theory, they're going to let me crash for one night. I had like a hotel discrepancy, so I'm really, really thankful to Kyle, who's over there in Columbus. That's going to be great. I'm going to all the publishers. I'm going to be playing as many games as I want.
Nice.
Food trucks. I heard that the food is great. I'm just going to be able to Uber everywhere. I'm really, really excited. I think the only thing I'm nervous about, to be honest, is just this is going to be the first time I'm away from my she'll be 5 months old at this time when I leave. And I'm coming back on Father's Day, June 21st, my first Father's Day ever. So we got to do some celebration when I get back. But 4 nights away from the baby, we'll pray for me.
Oh yeah. Listen, I know how hard that is. I remember being at Gen Con when my wife, my wife was, I forget. And yeah, it's hard being away from the kiddos. I remember my wife is also really bad because I remember the first time she was pregnant. I was at a convention for work, and she called me and says, "I think I'm going. I think I'm going into labor." Yeah, she goes, "I think I'm going into labor," and I'm like, "What?" Gosh. I'm like, and I'm over here looking for flights, and she texts me. She's like, "No, we're good. I just wanted to mess with you." But
oh my god!
But yeah, so listen, as long as your wife isn't pulling one of those tricks, you're gonna be fine. That stress is gonna be there. But yeah, listen,
I'd be on the Delta app, Alaska app. I would have bought a flight by now if I saw those words.
It's a great convention. I want to say I really do enjoy it. I've only been once. I've been twice. But once for the convention. The very first time was to compete in like a nationals tournament for. Dice Masters, but outside of that was my first time ever going to Origins. But it's a good convention. The food is good, not as great as Philly.
I know.
Yeah, but PAX, and for people who've been to PAX and talked about like the food, you have the Reading Terminal Market over there in Columbus. They have like that Columbus Market across the way. Forgive me if I'm not saying it correctly, but there's like a little food market across that has really delicious food over there as well, and even outdoor space to actually play games. So. I have some friends that are from that area, and they kind of took me under their wing, and we had a great time.
And I'm hoping I'll be guided. I haven't really ever gone to a big convention like this for one, and definitely not like solo. I'm going completely like rolling solo here, so excited about that. I'll say it is the 3rd biggest according to Google in the U.S. So Gen Con is the number 1, about like 70K or something like that participants. PAX U is like 30K. And then this is like 19,000 participants. This is all like last year's numbers. So it's pretty, it's big. I thought Dice Tower West is big, and it's like 3,500 people.
Wow.
So I'm like, I'm blown away. That's the biggest convention I've been to. So I'm very excited, besides PAX West or whatever. But let's get right into it. I will let you start, Jazz. Do you have a game ready you want to talk about that we're hyped from the preview list? While you're getting it ready, I'll say, again, for all of you listening, you go to Board Game Geek, you hit the browse button, and you hit the preview button. If you click right now, you'll see, if you're logging in right now when you're listening to this, Gen Con's up there. It already has 400 titles on there. I do want to point this out. Gen Con is so big, and they use it as like release date for so many board games. Publishers love to do this. So there's 400 games on the Gen Con one. My little Origins 19,000 person convention only has 149 titles at the time of recording. So it is great. We had a lot less to choose from here, but I think that means we're going to highlight the ones we really like. So,
yeah, I really like this convention.
Yeah.
It's not big on releases, but it is good. There is some that do come out at this convention. But the one, I think we've talked about this before, but I know it's going to be available. I don't know if, I'm assuming this is going to be the first time for sale right there. And this is going to be from Bezier Games. And of course it's Zombie Princess.
Yes, we've talked about it.
We've talked about this. This is, this is getting into that idea of spades now. And the other one was hearts, right? Yeah, so we are going into the Zombie Princess land spades. So bring me back. I know you say spades, you say trick taking. I'm in on it, so I'm excited for this one.
So in.
This is auto buy for me.
Yeah, I have to shout out when we talked about this last was episode 3 of the podcast, Essenspiel, our Essenspiel like highlight list. So we talked about it back then. I'm very excited about this. I think Bezier is awesome, and I listened to a podcast. I should shout out Neon Gorilla's podcast with Cardboard East. You know Jay from Cardboard East. He works at Bezier Games, and so he was just talking about all their Bezier games that are coming, and it got me really excited. So yep, that was on my short list. I am really excited about Zombie Princess. 2-player. It's so cool, and honestly, I'm going to say this. I'm going to put this in the ether in the world. I have a prototype. I'm doing some play testing. Bezier, if you're listening, it's my prototype of my game is called Rhino Rummy right now. Nature theme is oversaturated, as the Family Feud episode told us. You got to go listen to episode 15. But I was thinking about this. I was like, oh my gosh, I could pitch this as Rebel Rummy and get it to be like the princesses and everything. So anyway, that just something to think about, Bezier back in the light. Okay, awesome. I'm going to start with the one I'm most excited about and most biased about first. Just get this out of the way. This is called Headliner from Chris Couch Games, designed by Jaden Johnson, and the art is by Blake Barnes. And I want to shout out Blake Barnes here over on Instagram. You can go check him out. He did the art for this game, and there are promo cards, and yours truly, Rolling Reggie, is a character named Reggie Wing Jam, and I have a peacock on my shoulder on the backer kit right now for this game. So I do have a personal tie. I'm really excited about this game because I'm in it, and the first game I've ever been in, so obviously I'm excited about that. But also the artist, Blake Barnes, as I mentioned, I learned about him from this, and I reached out, and he's the one who just did all my new branding. So if you've been on Instagram and you've seen YouTube or wherever, you've seen the new Rolling Reggie logo. It was done by this artist. So go check out Headliner. So it's like music themed card game where you're like trying to build your own band. So it's definitely got a little bit of like open drafting and set collection, but you do it in like a really streamlined like worker placement setting. And so it's a really small box. It's got like nice quirky art, like I said, 2 to 5 players, 30 to 40 minutes. I've been really happy about Chris Couch Games. I'm going to bring up another game of theirs later, so I don't want to spoil that, but definitely check out Headliner. It's actually pretty high on the hot list for Origins.
Yeah, listen, that artwork in that box just captivated me as well. I didn't like go into it more, but I can tell you, like my buddy Judge, who did our podcast intro music, if he saw this, he's already at the booth, like either buying it sight unseen simply for the art, but he's a big musician. But he would love this. I think this is one I would really enjoy as well. I'm looking, you say worker placement mechanic that's kind of built into this set collection theme. Yeah, I'd want to play this one as well. It's kind of really on my short list of what I've been seeing, but this is pretty cool.
I mean, it's like $25, like travel friendly. There's like some screen printed. Again, this is mostly what the backer kit's saying. I don't know what the retail version is going to be different, but like the little chipboard or like guitar picks, like it's got a nice little, like I love what Chris Couch is doing in terms of like thematics and publishing, especially in these small box. So yeah, correct. That's funny. Yeah. If you have a musician friend, like, shout out to Judge.
That's awesome. I think, what Chris is doing over there as well is like a small, indie publisher, and the stuff that he's putting out is great too. Like Holiday Hills, great little game, great themed game. awesome mechanics that are built into it. Like, it's not just, hey, no, he's putting out solid designs, and people really need to be looking at his stuff.
Chris Couch.
It's really good.
100%. All right, we got one each already. We're doing great. Keep it up.
Next game I have on my list is probably the one that really struck me as like, oh, this is interesting. My wife would pretty much play this. Is we're going to that small box all play again, a tiny box, and this is Golden Goal. All right, little small boxing. Listen, when it comes to conventions now, I've been more focused on like the smaller titles because I can put more in my bag. They're cheaper. But this looks like it says it's by designer Cornier van Moorsel. This is from all play again. Art by Sai Beppu. This is a movement point action selection theme with a soccer or football theme for those that are not out of the U.S. But it's pretty cool because it says, it's designed as it's a very short description on BGG. Hard fought battle. The game is tied, and now it's overtime. The first team to score immediately wins. So again, quick, tight playing game when I see that. But you unfold the entire soccer pitch from this tiny box. You line up your squad. They face each other, and you're making positioning moves, I guess, with your players, and you're pretty much trying to find that perfect shot to score the final goal. Interesting. I have played Lucky Number 11, which is another soccer themed game. This is out of I believe it's in Taiwan, or I know it's in Asia. Great 2-player head-to-head soccer game. It is in a smaller box, but it's more of a bigger footprint. When I see this, it's a smaller box. I can kind of give me that same feel and be tense. I'm excited to try this.
Yeah, I'm really into the all-play tiny boxes right now.
Yeah.
Like I just played Soda Jerk last night, and I played, what did I like? Oh, Vivo, which I'll be covering on the YouTube channel actually pretty soon as like a honorable mention, just because they're just such great little games, and there's so much game in that little box, and there's nothing that my wife, the Queen, loves more than a small box, small footprint card game like that. That is, if it does not look daunting on the table, I have so much of a better chance of getting her to play. Again, she loves Viticulture and Pan Am and some bigger games, but those are like, when I'm trying to teach her a new game, that is how I get her. Okay, I'm really excited about my next one. This is actually technically a re-implementation, and I'm specifically interested in this because of the design duo that by the names of Matthew Dunstan and Brett J. Gilbert, and this is First Giants. Now, I'm going to be, you know me, I've gone on rants about popularity and people not liking popular things and being too hipster for me, but I will say my love of Matthew Dunstan is my like one hipster designer. Like, I want to play his entire catalog, and when he works with Brett J. Gilbert, they do a lot of good stuff. Elysium is their most popular game, and that is what this is re-implementing. And Elysium is like Greek mythology.
Yes.
This kind of turns it, into like a prehistorical animal exhibits. You got like saber-toothed tigers and dinosaurs and like old like moths and stuff. It looks so cool, and the little bits that are amber, what you think about from like Jurassic Park or whatever, and the wooden like fossil tiles, it's right up my alley. So I am like thematically, I am an anthropology major. Fun fact, literally one of the lowest paid majors in the entire United States. And I've been doing well, okay? I've been working since I was 20 years old, by the way. But the big thing is, it's a really straightforward like engine building game where you're drafting a bunch of cards, you're doing some set collection, and you have to like go to these locations and draft from like one from each of the locations at something like that. It's a pretty straightforward like drafting game. It is on Board Game Arena, so I do want to check it out here soon. But I've seen a couple of videos on it just briefly covering it, and it just looks beautiful. I think the production is what's really drawing me in, outside of the designers who I love so much, who also did things like Guild of Merchant Explorers,
Yes,
which
I
was
was
like
just about
Kennerspiel.
to say that. Yeah.
They did Pray Another Day, which is on my want to playlist, and especially the one I really am excited about. It's called Chocolate Factory. I've been looking for that game for a long time. It's like a hard to find game as well. So First Giants by Matthew Dunstan and Brett J. Gilbert, published by Space Cowboys, by the way.
Yeah, this was on my short list, and it's the box cover caught me as well because it looks really, really cool. And then, kind of had that Darwin-y looking feel kind of to it when you look at it.
Yes, it does have that.
But when you look at the box art, it's beautiful. And then when I looked at the design team on this, I was like, oh yeah, this one is definitely one that I would definitely want to check out. But yeah, I love the box art on that.
Love it.
Yeah, so on to my next one. We're keeping it small box, and that's simply because, like I said, when I go to conventions, I am looking on the hunt for another good small box game. Do I have enough in my collection? Yeah, I probably have more small box games in my collection than most people have of their entire collection, but they don't take up as much space, so my wife doesn't really know. But we're going to go over to Gamehead, and because honestly, Gamehead, they put out, what is it, 4 games a year, Reg? Or is it?
Right now they're doing like 4 games at a time.
At a time, okay. When they reset,
I'm really excited because Gamehead's on my short list too.
And this one, of course, it's the designer catches me. Bruno Faduti, you put him on there. Alex Randolph, and this one is Friendly Fishing.
No way. Yes. That was the next one I was going to talk about. Okay, go for it.
Yeah,
I'm so
nice
excited.
little. The theme catches me. I love fishing. I love, again, it's time to just be out on the water and just fish. The little small box one from All Play as well. The little what is it called again? I can't think of it. Lure. That
yes, Lure with the dice and everything.
The push your luck, dice game, and it gives you that fishing theme. It's really cool. I think thematically it feels good, but also because again, when you're out on the water, you're trying to catch fish. It's just one of those things. So you may have a good day, you may have a bad day, but it's the enjoyment of that. So when I'm playing these games, it's the enjoyment of playing with the people around me. But this one, Bruno Faduti, it's just, again, it says, is there anything more relaxing than being on, with a rod and a reel with some friends on a boat, and this idea of you're going to be fishing in a pond. It's a semi-cooperative set collection game, so you have me there. And this is one, if I'm correct, where you're going to be building out kind of like your tableau, but based on how you score, it's going to be like what your opponent to your left and opponent to your right to you have. You're going to be kind of combining those scores together. I believe there's like a addition or subtraction between what are your high scores, and that's how you score based off, right? Or is it your lowest score? I know exactly the game from Stonemeyer. That's exactly what I'm thinking of it. And it's between two cities. It kind of has that. No, so
it's a little different. It's everyone scores your tokens that you've been collecting, and you score for the person to your left.
Okay.
So the person who's after you, because you're trying to get points for yourself, but also set them up. Correct. Player.
Yes.
And I just love that. Like, I'm trying to help you out because I want you to do well on my left. And that's like the one thing I wanted to talk about this is that, like, there's a lot of games like Puerto Rico gets accused of this more than any other game, where if you are a weak player or you're new, I should say weak player, and the person who went who goes after you is going to have a really big advantage.
Really good advantage. Yep.
And that's such a cool thing, is like you can just, now you're incentivized to make the person after you do well because you're going to score their points too. And Gamehead has been knocking out of the park. Like, I love Trinket Trove. I can't say enough about Trinket Trove, but I'm really intrigued by Friendly Fishing too.
Yeah. This one is good. And
what's Fiduti's like most famous? What are these guys' most famous games here?
Well, like, Fiduti's put so many bangers
Citadels,
or Raptor, which is an awesome 2-player game that I love.
True,
Diamante, which has the other, it has that other design.
Ink and Gold.
Ink and Gold, yes,
that's
the
other name of it. Yep.
Mission Red Planet. Yes, a bunch of different games that he's put out.
Yeah.
If you go by Mission Red Planet is the one that's the most rated, but Citadels is the one that people probably love as well.
No, the best. Yeah. And then Alex Randolph is the other co-designer, and he's got a game on his ludography called The Big Shot, which I'm really excited about to play, which is a bidding game. So cool. I love that. Wow, that's great. That was my next one. So I get to talk about a different one. So thank you. Thank you for that. I will do a quick pair here, and I do have to preface that I do own both of these games, and I got them as review copies from All Play, and we've touched on them a little bit, but I just want to cover them really quickly because I think they're both really cool, and I'm excited to go play them at the convention. I might bring my own copy. This is Pinatas and Torchlit. Okay, these are both trick-taking games. We've talked a lot about trick-taking games. I'm pretty sure we talked about pinatas before, so I'll just say really quickly, it's a Reiner Knizia reprint of Marshmallow Test with this awesome candy pinata theme. And what happens is once you win a third trick, you are out of the round, and you score for how many other tricks are around the table. So you don't want to be the first one out, because if you hit, you're not going to get a lot of candy out of the piñata. You want to be the last one to smack the piñata and get all the candy. So you really want to hit 3 tricks last when everybody else has a lot of tricks, has like 2 or 3 already. So it's really cool. The one I want to really highlight here is Torchlit, which we talked about at some point. And I actually brought it up because of its old art. It had a different, smaller, like self-published printing. And now this is a totally new printing. The artist's name is Harry Conway. I really like it. I also love the old one, but I like this new look. It is a trick-taking game where you're moving through these rooms based on who won the trick. You get to move along these tricks. And then I think it's the person, if you play the exact same number as the winner, you get to choose, or something like that. It's like the loser. Oh man, I don't want to mess this up.
I can't even remember it too, because like I said, I have both of those right here in my collection as well. And Torchlit was one of my big pickups as well. I played it once. I can't remember because my buddy did a lot of the demos for All Play at PAX Unplugged. And this, I can tell you that it sold out at PAX Unplugged. I know that.
Wow, it did. That's crazy. Okay, so I'm curious. It is interesting that they're putting it on here, because I mean, it is a game that I think you can just go out and grab right away.
I guess it's making a bigger release, if I remember correctly. I think there was a very like a limited like printing that had come in, I guess, that they had access to, that they were going to be at PAX Unplugged. So I think this is like their official like full release of it.
Got it. Here's how it works. I open up the rule book really fast. So what happens is the person who wins the trick is typical lead suit. They get to move their person in the dungeon. Like they move 1 forward. Anybody who played a number exactly the same as the winning number also gets to move their like little worker in the dungeon. And that for me right away was the one thing where I'm like, there's so many trick-taking games out there. This is the one twist that I actually really loved, because it gave me a reason to play when I'm playing offsuit. A lot of times when you're playing offsuit, you know you're not going to win the trick. There's just no reason. It doesn't matter what card you play. I mean, a lot of times it's like, okay, it doesn't really matter. But now I have like incentive to play this exact number that's winning, because I will get a reward too. But the crazy part is also the person who loses the trick, the lowest number, they get to take cards from the trick that was over and put them underneath these specific rooms, and the rooms score, wherever you end up is where you score, as long as you like based on how you bid. So it's a little tricky for lack of a better term, but I think it is such a cool little twist on trick taking that I think it's actually worth you checking out. And I'm really excited to go play it, in a convention setting with some other gamers. So yeah, Torchlit and Pinatas.
Yeah, that one, that they both they're in my collection. I haven't played Pinatas yet, but Torchlit I played once, and my buddy who demoed it said that was the one game that he enjoyed. I think he enjoyed demoing the most for people because it's such a unique design, and I'm glad that it was picked up by a bigger publisher so it can get more distribution, because I know it was one that had been talked about a lot coming over from Asia. That
it was like a small print
I think it was
run.
a very small print run coming over from Asia. I think that was just very difficult to find. I can just let me just talk about 2 more. I should just put all these 3 together because they're all Gamehead as well.
Oh, is it more Gamehead? Okay, yes, I'm excited about this. Yeah,
more Gamehead. The one is called, again, I don't know much about it, but again, this is what I'd be looking at. It's a Trick to the Future. It's another little trick-taking, time travel, trick-taking style of game.
It looks very, very reminiscent of Back to the Future.
Yes,
it's straight up a DeLorean.
That's the one thing that caught me. It's like it's like this DeLorean-looking station wagon, like the Woody station wagons. The one with the wood panel station wagon on, as I call them.
Oh man!
But this one, just simply off of look and theme alone, I want to kind of just play this one. So what else do I know about it? It's trick taking. It's about time travel theme. Give it to me. That's it. That's what I know, and I want to buy it. I just like.
And the designer is Taiki Shinzawa, the genius of all trick taking games. If you're not aware, he did No Loose Ends and stuff.
I know you're a big fan of. I know, was it Maskman that I know you enjoy, but he did Ghost of Christmas,
that's
which
true.
is another
Shedding
one.
Game.
Yeah, 9 Lives, which is another 2 all play games that were really cool and unique. But yeah, that one's fun. The other one is another Reiner Knizia design from Gamehead, and this is Wild Magic. Again, Reiner Knizia. This is like you have this almost like this tableau set in front of you that you're kind of playing to with these set collection game. Kind of just when I look at this, it kind of just gives me this look of what's the
Schottentotten.
Schottentotten, yes.
And Lost City, like, right?
Yep.
Isn't that what it looks like?
That's
what
exactly what I thought
yeah.
of when I said this. And you're playing these various melds out in front of you. You're going to score your points based off of the strength of those melds. But if you because every card is connected to a specific element, but it's going to be based on your weakest element. You're going to pretty much discard that weakest element. You're not going to score on that specific element at all. So it's something interesting. So, and again, those elements might be in other melds, I think is how it looks, right? So I'm intrigued to see what this one is all about, because like I said, it gave me that Schottentotten Lost Cities type vibe. So yeah.
Yep. This is on my short list. I really want to talk about this. I was like, wow, this is a really cool one, and I just love Knizia games. It's also a reprint of a game called Vampire back in the day. So yeah, back in his gosh, that art on Vampire is something. Check that one out if you go to the Wild Magic page. But
oh my
it does
goodness,
remind me. Yeah.
It's that early Rio Grande type art where they're like,
holy moly. But it reminds me of Lost Cities. It reminds me of, any of those lane battler melders that he's famous for and other people are. I have to say, Lost Cities, I've decided, and I'm just going to say it again. We had this on one of these episodes. I don't know which one it was. But I really don't like Lost Cities. Shout out to Paula Deming. We're playing a game of it right now, and I'm like, get me out. I hate this game. And there's very few games I don't like, and especially from the good doctor himself, the one and true living doctor. I truly hate Lost Cities. Please, someone explain to me what's going on with that game. It's just not for me. All right. So you've done 4, I've done 3. Here's my 4th here. I'm excited. I got to shout this one out. This is the cutest one on the list. Just really awesome looking theme. And I'm pretty sure this had a Kickstarter. I'm not sure, but that is Pirates of the High Teas. Have you seen this one? This is Emily Vincent.
I have seen it. That one looks pretty cool as well.
Yeah. And Emily Vincent has a publisher called Pink Hawk Games. And I actually just recently listened to a podcast featuring Emily Vincent with our friend Amanda Panda on the BGG podcast, talking about this amazing publisher. And it's just like, she said something that made me laugh so hard. It's a space. She was making fun of space theme. She was like, if I have to go conquer one more galaxy in a board game, I'm gonna lose it. And I'm just like, I get it. So it's like her whole thing, design. Publisher mindset is like, let's have some vibrant, fun, unique themes. And so this is like beautiful pirate tea party theme. And Ammon Anderson's the artist, who I love. Ammon Anderson's art and designs, also his design. So really, really cool. Nice, typical contract set collection. It's got a solo mode. Right now, it's got 120 ratings, and it's an 8.1. So I'm really intrigued by this because, and again, you can tell I am drawn in by a very beautiful art. And I think this theme is just so funny. It's like, there's mooncakes, and Polly wants some crackers. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Scurvy dogs. It's like a bunch of treats and tea for pirates with these awesome little workers. Incredible production. That's all I really know about it. Yeah, it was on Kickstarter, by the way, at some point. So any thoughts on Pirates of the High Teas?
No, it's one that kind of was, I looked at it, I was like, oh, this looks pretty interesting. I didn't dive too much into it. But again, Reg, there's a lot of games I'm like, oh yeah, that's going to be probably a Reggie pick.
Yep. You know how I am. I was like, this seems like a nice, and again, I'm always looking for medium weight games. It's like a 2.0 that are eye-catching. I just think that is something I'm really drawn to, and I want to, iterate this to the listeners, is like, I am trying to bring people into the best hobby in the world all the time. And if I have a pirate-themed tea party game that's literally so colorful, just so much beautiful color on here, I think I could actually do that. And so that's why I'm most interested to try it and get it in my collection. Yeah.
For me, if I go to my 5th game, this is nothing that's new to me. I think it's just it's a game that I think people have heard of, probably have kind of shied away a bit from times, because I know when they did a reprinting of it and they did a mass producing of this game, the the game box had went down into like a 3 to 6 player box. And I know there was talks about this on BGG about, oh, why did the publisher do this or whatever the case may be. And like, I don't understand, like from a publishing standpoint, it's not easy to always, produce things or print things to another level, but when you're putting things also in a mass market store, there's other things to consider, box space, the size of the box, the price point, all of those different things come into play as like, is your game going to sell? And sometimes publishers will kind of make a smaller version of a game that'll sell in a big box store just so that the game can get introduced to others. And this is a game that honestly, if you complained about it being 3 to 6 players, you could have just gone out and just bought another box of the game and you would have had your up to 12 player count, because this is a party game and this is Green Team Wins again. Okay, so it's going to be a new version of Green Team Wins. It's 210 all new questions. And to be honest with you, I don't on BGG, there's probably people already complaining because people just complain sometimes for no reason, and I call it out. That's just how I am, right? But
for sure.
But if you're complaining about it, like why didn't this just become an expansion of a deck of cards or whatever the case may be? You were complaining about it being only 6 players. The publisher answered your question and gave you another box that goes up to 12 players, and then also gave you new content for it.
210 new questions.
210 new questions. Beggars can't be choosers. Now you can have your original 12 box. You can have this 12 box. And now you can play with 24, because I've played Green Team Wins where I took it upon myself, bought dry erase boards, and I have played this game up to almost like 20 people in work, and has gone over well every single time I've played it. It is my really go-to big box, like big crowd party game.
Yeah, and that's the problem with the original, is that it only went to 6. I also threw more dry erase in my original one. Well, it just plays better with more people.
And the original, it went up to 12, but the thing is, it didn't have like it didn't have a mass printing, because it was one of those things that we're going to print it for a set number. So my original box came with 12. After that first printing is when they did the smaller print, because the first printing was...
So mine does it.
Yeah, the first printing came with the big box, and they even did it with a little, what do you call those? The fanny pack. So like that whole game is stored in the fanny pack. But yeah, I'm excited for this. This is how I announced we announced the birth of my second born child was through Green Team Wins. There was a question on there. We had a question. My wife and I were already strategically on with the same answer, and it was just how we announced that she was pregnant with our second born.
That is awesome,
and that's how we did it.
That is awesome. I now I need to have a second child and do and I can do that.
Listen, I've done the announcement to our family. Both times have been board games.
That's amazing, and I couldn't be more jealous. That's amazing. We didn't even think about that. We gave my mother-in-law a Prego pasta sauce because she's very Italian and she would never ever eat Prego pasta sauce. And then she's like, I knew it. And we surprised my family too with a fun T-shirt. But
that's awesome.
Wow, that is awesome. And because you went party and 25th century, I was debating between two, which one to make an honorable mention. I'll make the other one an honorable mention. The one I want to talk about is my last one, 1 to 6 players. This is a weird one because it is a 2022 release that is now being I'm guessing remade by 25th Century Games. This is Take a Seat, okay? And so Take a Seat is the world premiere share and write. And so I'm like, what is a share and write? It's got dry erase. It looks really awesome. Basically, it seems like the people on your left and right are going to get to fill in these little reservation panels, because it's like themed around going into like a nice theater or a movie, like old school, movie theater type vibe. And so you fill out on the left or right, and then that is what creates the randomness for the next player. That's the like interaction here. Instead of like rolling dice or flipping a card, I'm going to be filling in spaces on a card to my left, I believe, or maybe both directions. And then that's what you get to choose from my neighbors in the game. So up to 6 players. I'm very intrigued how it would go solo too. But me and my flipping rights, my verb and rights, my X and rights, I really want to try this one. Yeah, it looks really unique. I like the art. And I had not heard much about the original like Pegasus Spiel version, but this new one is coming from 25th Century Games, and I've been, really trusting them. Again, they just did Green Team Wins. We've talked about Wine Cellar. I mean, they've got so many cool games, and I'm all about this genre. If you go back to the Mechanisms episode, I gotta tell, episode 1, the first episode, I talked about flipping rights. I think it's just a genre that I really, really, really enjoy, and so I want to try Take a Seat.
Yeah, like I said, 25th. There's just publishers that you trust when they put out a game. That
yes,
it may not be for you, but it's still a solid game, right? And I'm not saying that this is for me or not for me, but I don't always gravitate. We talked about this before, right? I don't always gravitate to roll and write, flip and write, things like that. But I do enjoy them, and it's just one of those things that there's just certain genres of games that I enjoy, but I just don't always add to my collection because sometimes they're samey or whatever the case may be, and I just sometimes just want to continue using all the sheets that are in my current ones before I move on to something else, right?
Of course.
But people probably look at me and it's like, why does Jazz have 85,000 worker placement games and they seem like they give me the same feel?
Exactly.
Everybody likes what they like, right? So look at Trick Takers too. I'm already looking at other games on this list. I was like, oh, why didn't I look at that one? It's a new Trick Taker. But
there's more Trick Takers in it. Yeah, it's such a great thing. Right? Yeah, I totally get it, and that's the interesting piece here. Okay, those are 5 each. I have some more. So do you want to give some honorable mentions here?
The one that honestly, as we're looking at this list, it's one from Arcane Wonders, and again, I like what Arcane Wonders does. Sometimes small box games, but this one, it looks from designer Michael Orion, and they designed Stem and Branch, what I've heard a lot of great things about. This one is called On Stage. It was a little trick taker. And I'm just looking at the pictures. It's a must-follow trick-taking game that it's all based about playing it within a theater company, and you're trying to compete with your performers. But there's 4 suits, card numbers 1 through 9. But it's really cool. Like I'm looking at it, and there's these meeples involved, and it looks like they're using the box as part of the actual presentation, where it turns into like a actual stage. So things like that just catch my eye. Do I know much about it? No, I do know that it's from a designer and that has released a game that I've heard a lot of great things about, that's very limited to try and get a hold of, and a publisher that puts out some really solid designs. So this is one that's good, that caught my eye simply by just scrolling through here.
Nice. Do you have some more? Do you have a couple more? Or are you good?
No,
are you happy with that with the
listen,
other one?
The list here for Origins is on the smaller side. Yes, there are a bunch of other games that I know about or that I have probably played that I think people should go out and check, because it's going to be more readily available here, and some expansions for things. But listen, there's a lot here that's this is what I like about Origins. It's a smaller, it's not as large of a convention. This is one where you can go, you can enjoy playing games, but you have a good time to find access to these games as well. So yeah, if it's something that catches your attention, this is a good convention to go and check it out. There's a lot of games I found at Origins for the first time, small box, that somebody else picked up I didn't know about, and I was playing it that one night, and I went the next morning, I'm right at the booth picking it up for $10-15. So yeah, nothing else that really pops out, but yeah, I would if there's something pops out to you, definitely check it out.
I would agree too with the small box stuff. I'm gonna bring like 5 or 6 small box games just to have in case of emergency, because I really trust libraries at a con. I'm like, I want to go play the games that are there, do some demos. I don't need to bring a bunch. I don't like to buy a ton of games at conventions, but I'm trying to show up with a pretty empty piece of luggage in case I do want to bring home like a bigger box game or something like that. Or if publishers want to give me any games out there, I would love to cover any of these. Rapid fire on 4. I'm gonna do 4. Okay, only 4 honorable mentions. Container. This is the one that's coming back.
How'd I miss that? I forgot. Now that you mentioned it, that was also originally on my list, and I accidentally deleted that tab. But Container, yes, is on my list.
Yes,
from
it's an OG 2007 game, and you look at the old art, and it actually is really endearing, to be honest, an old production. But man, what they've done with this new one, it looks so cool. It's 3 to 5 players only. It really gives me like Puerto Rico vibes. Like it's that like auction bidding and commodity speculation, which is like one of my favorite things. That's what modern art does. Pick up and deliver, set collection. I don't know anything about how it actually plays, but the way it looks, what people are saying about it, the mechanics. I mean, this has a possibility to go in one of my all-time favorite lists. I just didn't want to cover it because it's a game that's already getting a lot of love. It was an older game that now is, people are talking about this game. So you probably already aware of it, but Container is really high on my list. I'm definitely gonna check that out. I want to just shout out Chris Couch Games, his pair of games that did really well over on Kickstarter, Garden Club and Pedal. I'm gonna say crowdfunding. I'm not sure if it was exactly Kickstarter, but I'm going straight to the Chris Couch booth. That's the first place I'm going, and I'm really excited about both these, especially Pedal, because it's a small box 2-player game that's flower themed, and I just think I can really get my wife to play it. And my wife's also a big garden person, so maybe I'll be coming home with both those games. People really, really enjoy them, and I'm just so proud of Chris Couch Games, just kicking butt over there. The only other two I wanted to mention were you mentioned a lot of the ones. Wild Magic was on my list, and so was Zombie Princess. But Night at the Zoo. This is your boy over here, Thomas Holek, has these animals got snuck out of the zoo, and we're trying to get them back in the zoo, which I'm like, thematically, sign me up. 1 to 4 players, very tile placement, almost like it looks like programming to me from what I've heard. Let me see what this it says programmed movement, pattern movement, tile placement. So if you like Mythic Mischief, that might be in the same situation. It looks awesome. I am a little nervous that I'm going to play this and love it and buy it and bring it home. So Night at the Zoo from our boy.
Yeah, that looks really, really cool.
Yeah.
Thomas Holek, yeah.
Yeah, SETI fame,
Yes,
so
Mr. SETI.
It's Capstone Games. I think Capstone, I'm like, please Capstone, sponsor our podcast or help me get on the channel. I just love everything Capstone's doing. And finally, I want to share this as an Arcane Wonders game that also got a lot of love, last year when it was being hyped up before it got into people's hands. I don't know if this is officially released, if you can just go buy this online. I'm not sure. It seems like it's a little tough to find yet. Is Ross, A Dance of Love. And this is the one of these dance troupes in the style is called Garba Ross, which is in the state of India. And I just want to support games that are not focused on Western Europe. If the theme is a different culture, I'm all about it. And this is all these crazy wheels and dice placement, area majority and chaining, all this cool stuff that's supposed to kind of simulate this really, vibrant dance and the rhythmic tradition that happens with Raw. So this is really high on my list to try. I would really love to be taught this, because it's anything above a 2.0, I don't want to be sitting down reading a rule book at a convention. I want someone to teach us. So I really am going to go to Arcane Wonders. I would love a demo or to play this with some of the homies I'll be hanging out with. So shout out to Ross, A Dance of Love.
Yeah, that one it looks really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know much about that one, but again, I saw it, the box cover. I was like, that does look pretty interesting. I didn't even click on it, but now that I'm looking at it here on BGG, that little discs, board mechanism in the center with it looks like those individual turning wheels, 6 individual turning wheels, and you have dice placement and dice. That's got to be something pretty cool. I'd want to check that out and demo that if I was there too. Definitely has some good awesome table presence when you look at it.
And I've heard really good things.
This designer is the designer that did the expansion to Viticulture World.
Oh, so, yes. The cooperative.
The cooperative version, yeah.
Mahir Shah. I did not know that. That's awesome. Yeah. Wow. Shout out to Mahir there. That's great. Wow. Awesome. All right. Thank you so much for listening to our Origins hype list. Jazz, do you want to get us on our last two things? Our En La Mesa, our first impression segment. Jazz will be talking about a game that I have played, Excalibur.
Yeah, so this is Excalibur. This one comes from Roxley designer Manny Tremblay. If you know Manny Tremblay does some amazing stuff for Dice Throne and just a lot of even some of the small box stuff. Or the smaller games over there at Chip Theory has a little smaller company. Chip Theory has the secondary company under them as well, and a lot of stuff come from Manny Tremblay. But yeah, I think he did the Roth as well is the one that I'm thinking of. But right now, this is one of those games that I think falls in line with a love letter or a coup or those I don't know if it's just hidden roll type. It gives you this hidden roll vibe, but just it's
miniature, micro.
Yeah, micro game. But there's a lot of substance here because this goes up into a larger player count. It goes 2 to 8. You can play it at 2. I've tried it at 2. Really, not that it's my favorite
that
count.
Seems a little
it
interesting.
It just is. It's like it becomes more tactile in what people have and where do you place the potential Excalibur. So long story short, there's a bunch of different chips in this game, or they look like shields, and on each shield is going to be various Knights of the Round Table type characters, right? The Lady in the Lake, Arthur, all these different characters.
Lancelot,
from
the Green Knight.
Yes. So we're in that Arthurian time, and there's chips are going to be face down in the center of the table, and they're going to be mixed up and spread out, and there's going to be different swords that separate these chips into just 3 regions on the board.
Yep.
And what you're trying to do is you start off with the one player is going. And you set up they call it Avalon, right? But the first player is going to start with the Cursed Blade and Excalibur in their hand. They're going to be drawing tiles into their hand, and everybody else is going to be drawing tiles until they have 4 tiles in their hand, right? And on your turn, people are going to be taking one of those tiles in their hand, and they're pretty much going to be choosing one, putting in their hand, and simultaneously showing them. And in turn order, you're going to be activating those tiles. There's going to be like certain tiles that are going to trigger once they're shown. There's going to be trigger points for them. And what you're trying to do is you're just doing actions, pretty much what it says on the actual tile. It may be steal a tile from somebody else, or steal a tile or pick up from spot in Avalon, and then place your tile into the center. And there's just like this hidden movement, hidden agenda that's kind of going on as you play, a little bit of trickery and thievery going on. But ultimately, the game trigger ends is when one of those like regions on the board is almost empty, right? And that kind of sets the end game trigger. And at that time, you see who has Excalibur in their hand, and that person is the winner. Whoever has the Cursed Blade, they're considered the ultimate loser, right? And everybody else kind of has like this shared victory. But it's just a really cool bluffing party style game that at the beginning doesn't seem to start off as much, but then it kind of like ramps up into like just a good fun time at the table. I've played it up to only 4 players. I do want to play it at its full player count. I do know that and also Privy, this one did come to me as a review copy from Roxley Games, and they had reached out to me this week, and they're like, "Hey, Jazz, have you gotten a chance to play Excalibur yet?" I was like, yeah, I have. I just honestly haven't had no time to put out any video content on this because of work's been crazy. I said, but this is one that I'm looking to talk about on my next podcast, because I had a really good time, but I want to try. It's one of those games you try to see how it is, but now you want to try it at all player counts, and you want to find what the ultimate player count is, because I think this is a potential to shine at almost every player count from 4 and higher. It plays very well at 4. It's good at 3. I played with my wife and daughter, and she was able to pick this up at 7 years old. Like I said, she plays a lot of games, and she can read now, so she understands what it is. So, but yeah, it's fun. You can smile. You're smirking at each other. Who has the Excalibur? Did you dish it off into Avalon? And trying to keep an eye on where that tile is, because you do want to pick it up later. It's fun. It's really cool.
Yeah, I definitely want to encourage anyone who does not know about this or anything to go just look at the BGG or go look it up on Instagram. This hit Instagram hard. They did like a big group with a bunch of like, for lack of a better term, influencers on YouTube and Instagram people, and they just did this awesome production in terms of marketing this game. It is so overproduced. It has no reason to be produced the way it is. Like the swords are full metal. Yeah.
Listen, I got the regular retail edition of this, and I like it so much, and I think this is going to get so much play once I start introducing it to more people and playing it like in the bigger family functions, that I feel like I have to go buy the bigger one so that it lasts me longer, to have those plastic chips and these actual metal swords.
Oh, okay. So there is a cardboard version. Okay, I've only played the deluxe version. It's insane.
Lucky you, because I want to play that version. Like after this, and it's one again. It is overproduced, but I think like if this game is going to hit for longer, that will last you longer.
Why not?
In the long run.
Yeah, and so I got to shout out Will at my board game club. He brought it, and we just played it. I just looked at BG stats. We played 5-player. So I really loved it at that. I was really annoyed because I had Excalibur the last turn, and Brittany over there stole it from me on the last turn, and then she won. It's just whoever ends up with Excalibur wins, right? Yeah, it is extremely reminiscent of Love Letter. So that's the one you mentioned earlier. I think it's like, this is that same exact vibe. If you like Love Letter, or you're looking for a Love Letter style game that goes up to 8 players, that, you know, you feel like you are making good decisions, but obviously luck is going to be a factor, and a little bit of memory is important. But it's just great. I really enjoy it. I would like to play it a few more times before I would buy it for myself. But just the way it looks, I guess I don't even think I would ever go down to the retail. Actually, the deluxe is fancy, so that is awesome.
There's a retail, there's a deluxe, and then there's like the super deluxe or whatever it is.
Really?
But,
yeah.
I have the retail version, and it's the swords, all that stuff is quality. You know, but after time, the card, you know, if anybody has ever played if you play a lot of games, party games or something like that, those cardboard pieces, they do tend to like fray. I'm also thinking about like people who are not board gamers coming to my house that are like playing with their little cardboard chits or bending them and stuff. So
Doritos and stuff.
I think that far ahead when it comes to my games. We talked about the unwritten rules, right?
Yeah, go back and listen to episode 14 on board game etiquette.
Respect the product, right?
And you know what's so funny is my board game table is called Camelot, so it's like if you're coming into Camelot, maybe I need to have this game.
Maybe you do.
It is only $20 for that version that you have. That's pretty awesome. It's a $20 essentials, and the deluxe is $45. And then the collectors, what is the collect? Yeah, anyway, we'll have to compare these versions later. It's all on the Roxley website. That's sick. Awesome. I'm also going to talk about a review copy game and another 2026. We are kind of like, we're new hotness, man. We cover the hot games here on Board States every single time. This is from Blue Orange, so I did get this from Blue Orange. Thank you so much. I'm so excited about this. I actually reached out and asked for this game, which is very rare for me. I have enough games to play, but I was really excited about this when I saw it on the OFPG channel. Got 5. Jazz, would you like to sing me in?
I got 5 on it.
I got 5 on it. Yes. So it is a deduction game, and I need to make a dedicated video on it maybe down the line. But I think, and I've played this 3 times, I think that this game has kind of convinced me that I do like deduction. It is one of those mechanisms that I don't know. I'm lukewarm on, and this one was just, it's so fun. It's so streamlined. I think I like deduction when it's in a light form like this. So got 5, 1.3 weight right now, 2 to 4 players. Designer's name is Johan Levet, and he is famous for Turing Machine. People love that's like 300 rank on BGG. He also did Chronologic Paris 1920, which people love that Chronologic version, which is also a deduction game. So this guy has really got expertise in this specific genre. And it's got these clicky clacky tiles, like very beautiful Zool level, a little bit bigger, with these cute little eyeballs on them. There's no real theme. I mean, it's numbers, but just the little faces on that makes it such a big deal. Everybody has their own little, think Scrabble type, rack. You know, you have a rack that it's actually a little fancier than that because it's cardboard, not wood. But someone else, any other player, has to order your tiles from lowest to highest. So you know what your lowest number is and your highest number, or which tile is the lowest and the highest, but you're seeing the backs of the tiles. You don't see the numbers. Every single tile has a number 1 through 60 on it. It has a color, and it has dots on it, okay? So 1 dot, 2 dot, or 3 dots. On your turn, and on the front of the box, it says it's deduction with bingo madness, because on your turn, you take a tile from the middle. It's just these face down pile of tiles. You take one, you reveal it to the table and say, hey, this is number 42. There's no, if 42 is in the middle of the table, that means none of us have 42. So behind our little player sheet, we get to cross off 42. You know, we know 42 is gone. You also get to cross off all the numbers that all the other opponents, because they're facing you, their trays are facing you. So I get to cross off in a 4-player game, which is what I played. I get to cross off 15 numbers right away. I know those numbers are not my numbers. My job is to try to solve the 5 numbers that are in front of me that are facing the other direction. So on your turn, you get to do 2 things. After you reveal that number to the whole table, everyone gets that information. Then you get to either grab one of the tiles in the middle. There's like always 6 face-up tiles in the middle. And you get to put it in front of you and say, somebody organize this. Put it in between. Where does it go along my number? So if it's a 37, you know, they might put it right in the middle of my tray. So now I know that my 2 numbers on the right-hand side of my tray are bigger than 37, at least. So that helps me eliminate some things. The other thing, and I just think it's such a tricky little, nice little thing, is those dots on the cards, or those dots on the tiles. There's 1, 2, or 3. It's kind of randomized. You would recognize it if you were looking at the board. You get to take that tile and compare it to any of your 5 tiles, and another player has to say if it's the same or not. Like, is it yes or no? It's a yes or no question. So now if I show a tile that has 2 dots and I put it next to one of mine and you say no, I'm like, I know for a fact that this blue tile doesn't have 2 dots. So all I know is it's either a 1 dots or 3 dots. And so that helps you narrow it down. So you're just narrowing down. And then the first person to say anytime on anyone's turn, you can say got 5. That's the name of the game. And you can, you do like a clue style, like here's my 5. I think it was so-and-so I think it was Colonel Mustard in the parlor room. You know, you're just saying, here's my 5 numbers in order. If you get it wrong, you're out, you lose, and you just have to watch everybody else until someone really gets it. And so I learned that my youngest sister, I had no idea about this about her, you know, pretty much non-gamer, just absolutely took to this game and dominated. Like, not only did she enjoy it, she was so good at it. She got there so much faster than us. It was insane. So she won like the first game. Second game, I'm like, let's play again. And I had to go for it when I felt very confident about 4 of the numbers. I had deduced 4 of them. The 5th number, I was a 50-50 shot. And I just went for it because I was like, she's going to get it next turn. So I'm like, I'm just going to go for it and see what happens. And it paid off for me. But I saw one of my other sister, she did that same thing on another game and got it wrong, got 1 of the 5 wrong. You have to get all 5 of your numbers correct in order. It is awesome. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I heard about it. I heard some good things. I heard people saying it should have been a Spiel nominee, which I totally agree. It's like right in that Spiel des Jahres, like you would think that the Spiel would do this, especially when it comes to like the rule book. But yeah, deduction, clicky, clacky, colorful tiles. That is got 5.
Listen, you just, this is like an auto add to my collection, but something's got to go out for it. And I'm not sure what.
And what would that be?
I don't know. I'd have to look at my collection.
I did want to thank you for. Can I real quick? I want to say the games that I've played that are, you know, obviously it's Clue is, you know, you could say Wordle. I mean, Wordle is deduction actually, which I like to use to explain to non-gamers. Like Wordle is deduction. But like it's like Bomb Busters. It felt like Bomb Busters, but competitive. That's how it felt to me. And instead of us working together, and instead of us knowing our tiles, we know everybody else's stand, and we don't know our own stand. And it's a race to do it. And I think that part really was exciting for me. It's like I'm just trying to deduce this faster than the other people.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Turing Machine. You know, it was the biggest box game I've ever taken to my office, and I used to do like the daily puzzle like every day, like if it was my Sudoku puzzle, right? But it was a great game. I introduced that to my wife, she enjoyed it. But to know this is from the same designer, and this right off the bat gives me that Hanabi feel. Like,
yes,
when I think
that's
about
another great.
Hanabi, because I love
mixed with
Hanabi.
Bomb Busters.
Yep. Early on, Hanabi was one of those games that, you know, you have your cards and you're trying to figure out and deduce what's in your hand. But again, that's a cooperative type style game, and you're trying to make sure that you guys don't blow up, you're setting off the rockets, right? You're trying
the fireworks, or
fireworks,
something
right?
like that. Yeah.
So Bomb Busters is the one where you're not trying to blow up, but But when you look at Bomb Busters, and I'm looking at this, I'm like, wow, you're right. This is that type of game that could have probably gotten a Spiel or been nominated for the Spiel. And maybe because it's so close to when Bomb Busters was, maybe they're like, maybe we're not going to do this again. Are some of these awards sometimes political? We have no idea. Maybe yes, no, maybe no. We have no idea. But again, this is one that you've just piqued my interest to one that I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be fun. Like, I think it would be really, really cool. But that element of having your people arrange those things, the tiles for you, but that little, the dry erase board that you have, yeah, this is gonna be a good one.
Yeah, I love it. I'm really happy I have it. Thank you again to Blue Orange. The other game that they gave me was Bunny Kingdom Town through Yellow, which is like the 2-player Bunny Kingdom. I'm really excited. I got to convince the Queen to play that with me. We're going to see if that happens. But yeah, that's it. Wow, what a great episode. We did it in a nice, quick time. If you're going to be at Origins, please come say hello. I'm going to have stickers. Anybody who says hello to me, if you come greet me, you get a sticker. Okay, that's how that works.
Hello, Reggie.
Yes, I'll get you on Jazz. I'll throw it in the mail too. Maybe I should ship it from Ohio. It'd be cheaper for me. Other than that, close us out. Let's do it.
Listen, again, we always say thank you to you guys, but before we close, we always give a huge shout out to our podcast music from my boy, aka Judge, at Dre the producer over on the IG, and also to Kenan at Punchboard Cathedral for our awesome board game logo for our podcast. But we thank you for listening to us talk about the best hobby in the world, board games, because you could be doing anything and spending your time with anyone else, but you chose to do it and spend it with us. But we always say here on Board States, the podcast, where friends become rivals and board states decide the outcome. We will see you on the next one.
Nos vemos.